Welcome back to Whispers from God. If you're here right now and you feel nothing, not sadness, not joy, not even pain, just emptiness, then this message is for you. Because sometimes the hardest season is not when you're overwhelmed. It's when you feel completely numb. You wake up and there's no fire. You pray and there's no emotion. You try to feel something, anything, but inside it's just quiet, and not a peaceful quiet, a heavy quiet, a hollow silence. And maybe you've started wondering, where is God in this? Why can't I feel him anymore? Did I lose something? But listen carefully. Numbness is not God's absence. It's often the place where he is working the deepest. Let's talk honestly about this, because emotional numbness is real, and it's more common than people admit. In today's world, your mind is constantly overloaded. Information, stress, pressure, expectations. Your nervous system never gets a break. So what does your soul do? It protects itself. It shuts down. Not because you're broken, but because you've been carrying too much for too long. This numbness you feel? It's not failure, it's survival, and God understands that. You don't have to explain it to him. You don't have to justify it, because he sees beyond your feelings. But here's where many people get stuck. They start believing a dangerous lie. If I can't feel God, he must not be here. But that's not true, because God is not dependent on your emotions. God is present even when your heart is silent. Think about this. There are seasons in nature where nothing looks alive. Winter, the trees are empty. The ground looks dead. Everything feels still, but underneath, roots are growing. Life is forming. Preparation is happening. And the same is true for you. Just because you don't feel growth doesn't mean growth isn't happening. Now, let's talk about the pressure to feel something, the pressure to be spiritual enough, to feel joy, to feel passion, to feel connected. And when you don't, you start forcing it. You try to create emotion. You try to act like you're okay. You try to fix yourself. But that only creates more exhaustion, because God never asked you to perform feelings. He never said, "Come to me when you feel strong." He said, "Come to me, exactly as you are," even if that means coming empty, even if that means coming numb, even if that means saying, "God, I feel nothing." That honesty is more powerful than forced worship. Now let's shift your perspective. What if this season isn't something to escape, but something to understand? What if your numbness is not a problem, but a protected space? A space where God is restoring you quietly, because deep healing doesn't happen in noise. It happens in stillness. God is not afraid of your silence. He works in it. The Bible shows us something powerful. God often leads people into wilderness seasons, places that feel empty, places that feel quiet, places that feel disconnected. But those places are not punishment. They are preparation, because in the wilderness, distractions are removed, performance disappears, and what remains is real. God doesn't just meet you in emotional highs. He meets you in emotional absence. Let me say something that might free you. You don't have to feel God to be held by him. You don't have to feel peace to be in his peace. You don't have to feel faith to still have faith, because faith is not a feeling, it's a position. And right now, even in your numbness, you are still in his presence. Now let's talk about restoration, because something is happening beneath the surface, even if you can't see it, even if you can't feel it. God is restoring your soul, slowly, gently, without pressure. This is what we can call a sacred fallow season. In farming, there are seasons where the ground is left untouched. No planting, no harvesting, just rest. Why? Because the soil needs to recover, to rebuild nutrients, to prepare for future growth. And that's where you are. You are not stuck. You are being restored. But here's the challenge. We live in a world that hates stillness. We are taught to fix everything immediately. Feel better quickly. Move on faster. Be productive again. But healing doesn't work like that. God doesn't rush restoration. because rushed healing is shallow healing, and God is working deep. So what do you do in a season where you feel nothing? You don't force, you don't pretend, you don't panic. You stay, you rest, you allow, you simply be. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is remain in His presence, even without feeling it. Remain in trust, even without clarity. Remain in stillness, even without emotion. Now I want to give you something practical, because I know you might be thinking, but how do I connect with God if I feel nothing? Start small, don't chase emotion, chase presence. Sit quietly, breathe slowly, and say something simple. God, I'm here. That's it. No long prayers, no pressure, just presence. Because connection doesn't always begin with feelings. It begins with awareness. Another step is to involve your body, because when your emotions are offline, your body can still connect. Go for a slow walk, sit in silence, place your hand on your heart, and just breathe. Because God meets you not just in your mind, but in your being. Now, listen carefully. This numbness will not last forever, but you don't need to rush out of it, because something sacred is happening here. Your identity is being rebuilt, not on emotions, not on highs, but on truth. And that kind of faith is uncheckable. There will come a moment where feeling begins to return, slowly, gently, not as an explosion, but as a whisper. A small sense of peace, a quiet clarity, a subtle warmth. And you'll realize something. God was here the whole time, working, restoring, holding you together. So if you feel nothing right now, don't be afraid. You are not lost. You are not abandoned. You are not disconnected. You are in a sacred space. A space where God is breathing life back into your soul, even if you can't feel it yet. Let me speak directly to you now. You don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to fake joy. You don't have to perform faith. God sees you exactly as you are, and He is not disappointed. He is near, closer than your thoughts, closer than your feelings, closer than your doubts. So take a deep breath and let this truth settle inside you. Numbness is not emptiness. It is quiet restoration. God is moving, even now, even here, even in the silence. Thank you for spending this time with Whispers from God. If this message spoke to you even quietly, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it, and comment below. God is with me, even in the silence, because He is. And He always has been.